Ever feel like your workday is just one big copy-paste marathon? You know what I'm talking about. Well, today we're diving into an open-source tool that's totally changing the automation game by putting the power right back in your hands. Let's talk about n8n.
We've all been there, right? That soul-crushing routine of pulling data from a spreadsheet and plugging it into your CRM, or manually sending a welcome email every single time a new person signs up. It's just digital busy work, and honestly, it's a huge drag on our creativity and our time.
Now, this is exactly why automation platforms were invented. But here's the thing, not all of them are created equal, not by a long shot. They can be wildly different in terms of power, how much they cost, and maybe the most important part, who actually controls your data. And that brings us right to n8n, which is pronounced n8n. The best way to think about it isn't as a single tool, but more like a central nervous system for all of your apps. It's designed to let you visually connect all these different services to automate those mind-numbing tasks. And you don't even have to be a master coder to do it. And listen, this is not some small side project. It was founded in Berlin back in 2019, and its growth has been absolutely explosive. We're talking serious investment from top-tier firms like Sequoia Capital. It went from a niche tool to a major player, valued in the billions. This isn't just a startup anymore. It's a full-blown movement.
So what is n8n really? How does it actually work when you get down to it? Let's break it down in a super simple way.
Probably the best way to think about it is as the super glue for all your software. It's like that invisible hand that moves information between your tools so that you don't have to. It really does become your own personal digital assistant, just humming along in the background, getting things done.
So how does it all come together? Well, every automation, which is called a workflow, starts with a trigger. So in this example, the trigger is a new order coming in from Shopify. Simple enough? That one event then kicks off a whole series of actions. Each action is a little step performed by something called a node. Just think of nodes as individual Lego bricks. So one node finds the customer in HubSpot, the next one pings a message to Slack, and the final one adds it all to a Google Sheet. It's this beautiful visual chain reaction that you get to design yourself.
Okay, that sounds great, but you're probably wondering, how is this really any different from the other big names in automation? And that's a fair question. It all really boils down to three things: power, privacy, and price.
So, unlike most of its competitors, n8n is open source. Now, this means you can self-host it. You can run it on your own servers. Why is that such a big deal? Well, it gives you complete control over your data. None of your sensitive customer info ever has to leave your system. Plus, you get unlimited workflows and the power to drop in your own custom code for, well, pretty much limitless possibilities.
Let's actually put it head-to-head. You've got Zapier, which is the undisputed king of simplicity. It's got over 6,000 integrations, amazing for non-technical users. Then you have Make, which is a fantastic middle ground with a really cool visual builder. But n8? It's in a whole other league for developers, or really anyone who cares about data privacy and cost. And you got to look closely at these pricing models. Zapier's per-task model basically punishes you for building complex, powerful workflows. n8's per-execution model, on the other hand, is way more scalable. It actually encourages you to build awesome multi-step automations without worrying about the bill.
Let's make this really concrete. Let's say you've got a typical e-commerce workflow that runs 20,000 times a month. With Zapier, that could easily cost you over $500. With n8's cloud version, you're looking at around $120, and the self-hosted option, where your only cost is the server, could be as little as $6 a month. $6! That's a total game changer.
Okay, so the numbers are seriously impressive, but what are people actually doing with all this power? Let's take a look at some real-world examples.
How about this for an impact? The huge global company Delivery Hero saved 200 hours of work every single month, and they did it with just one IT operations workflow in n8n. That's basically like getting a whole new full-time employee for free.
I absolutely love this quote from Data.Tech. It just perfectly captures the spirit of what n8n is. It's not for one specific thing. It really is that versatile superglue that connects all the different moving parts of your business.
And its uses span the entire spectrum. I mean, at the massive enterprise level, you've got Vodafone automating their threat intelligence and saving over £2 million. Then, on a personal level, you have people on Reddit building workflows to manage their own finances. And for developers, it's an absolute powerhouse for complex data jobs, like syncing different databases.
So, with all of this power and flexibility, the big question is n8n the right tool for you? Let's get real and weigh the pros and cons. Look, the upside is pretty clear.
It's open source, it's incredibly flexible, it's powerful, and it can save you an insane amount of money. The community is a huge bonus too. But on the flip side, it definitely has a steeper learning curve than something like Zapier. And self-hosting isn't just a click of a button. It does require a little technical know-how. And yeah, while its library of integrations is growing super fast, it's still smaller than the giants.
So who's this really for? Honestly, a huge range of people. We're talking freelancers, marketers, developers trying to connect old systems to new ones, small business owners. But fundamentally, it's for anyone who is just sick and tired of wasting their day on repetitive digital tasks.
So what's next? Where is all of this going? Let's take a quick look at where automation is headed and how n8n is helping to shape that future.
N8 is definitely not standing still. It's actively integrating AI, which means that pretty soon you'll be able to just describe a workflow in plain English and have it built for you. I mean, that just dramatically lowers the barrier to entry, putting this incredible power into everyone's hands. We're moving toward this future of hybrid human and AI automation, and N8 is right there at the forefront.
So, I guess the big takeaway from all this is actually pretty simple. Your time, your creativity, your focus, these are your most valuable assets. And they are way, way too valuable to be wasted on tasks that a machine can do for you.
And that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. Just think about your own day-to-day. What is that one small, annoying, repetitive task that you do over and over again? What if you could get all that time back starting today? Thanks for joining me on This Explainer.